Welcome back to the Boss Mode walkthrough series. This is Chapter 7, Deserted Farmlands Champion Mode. Compared to the previous video at 15 minutes, this one's going to seem like a breeze. We're doing a speed run here. The only requirement of Champion Mode is that it requires selected hero, which is Torchy. Torchy is a great hero to have along for selected, especially if you have him as epic. But we also saw a good glimpse into what the enemy composition is going to be like. Since there are no fast enemies, that opens up the opportunity to run our Cobalt team and sort of just storm through this. I chose to do Ponty and Dagrun just for some caster buffs and some extra stuff. A lot of times I will choose Zen just so Cobalt gets 2 turns. However, with Cobalt and Ponty back to back on that final boss room, I'm not expecting those guys to survive, especially if I use a friend hero. Torchy is really just kind of here just to possibly whip out some epic attacks. Honestly, you'd probably end up benefit more by him not doing epic attacks because if he tends to clear a room, one of your best skills, Contagion Control, might actually end up on cooldown because it doesn't get enough energy replenished. Anyone that uses Cobalt in PvP, if you ever come across Sume teams, you'll see that he's heavily resistant to disease and dark attacks, so it's not surprising that these Sume clones here actually survive against darkness. But once we kill the first room or so, we're going to be using Contagion Control, which is a little bit different damage mechanic. You shouldn't be able to survive any of those. So we're fortunate enough here, Torchy basically cleared the whole room, but we don't get a bunch of energy back from Cobalt, which we didn't really need because we did pretty well in the first room. But it's always nice to see Torchy do an epic attack. Typically in boss mode runs, whenever I use Torchy, he's just very underwhelming and just does not tend to do those epic attacks for me, really when you need them. And sometimes you just want him to come through in the clutch and he just does not do it. So this is one of the first times where I used an attack, just didn't do very well. That's why we brought Ponty along as a second AoE. It's a smart move, especially if your Cobalt isn't as hardcore as mine. I used the Darkness attack instead of Contagion Control because it's a short stage. I didn't want to run into an issue where I didn't have Contagion Control up on the final room. So I was a little bit cautious. The fact that I had to use Darkness and still attack with Ponty didn't really bother me too much because I'm not expecting to use him in the final room. I did roll the dice and use Contagion Control here because I was pretty confident they were all going to die from that hit, so I knew it would be back up in this room. So the standard mechanic here, just like any boss room, use your friend hero, whittle them down a little bit, and then use your big hitters to take them out. So Cobalt is going to clean up a lot, and then if need be, you could always, if nobody dies, you can always use Ponty. But Kozar's been my favorite so far. Most of my guild members have him leveled up quite a bit, so I've been pretty happy with that. It's not just that he does a lot of damage, but he lowers the defense too. Anybody that's got lower defense, Cobalt is just going to absolutely destroy them. And this run is no different. So we didn't need any other buffs or anything like that. So nice little speed run compared to the last one. So if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, check us out again for the boss mode run. And we will see you next time. Thanks.